Alright, we're gonna go meet up with Regis. Kick this story off a little bit.
Giddy up.
It has been a while since we've done anything story related. That being said, there are a bunch of secondaries and stuff that we could be doing, but we'll get to that in a second. These... I mean, I could do Feet Cold as Ice. Big Game Hunter. We'll get those. It's just been so long since we've done some story that I want to do at least one.
Let's go. Not so fast,
Nope,
Roach.
it's at the entrance. Okay. So not up there.
Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet.
Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to... Okay, think we're good? Nope, there's a ghoul. And another one of those. What? Why did he stop? Are we good? I think we're good. Alright then. Oh, we're train up here, where we need to be. Good horse.
Regis! Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be. Gotta be another way in around here.
Alright then. How about down there? Oh, look at all these fucking...
Plenty around here.
I'm gonna light all these up. You know how I do.
That's some stench.
Why Regis would hang out. Oh, hello. Oh, get crit, homie. What's this way?
Nahalani's eye. Ought to use it.
Yeah, oughta.
Interesting.
A sword? Oh. You can keep your flowers. What was that? Oh, it's Ignite. A Knight's Oath. Hello. Here rests the raiment of Gishan. On my grave you will not find the likeness of the man who once lived. I give my heart, soul, and body to the knightly craft, and I wish to be remembered as a knight. The symbol of chivalry is a naked sword, and that symbol rests above me. The sword that defended my honor, my friends, and my heart. The sword that was closer to me than a brother. The sword that was never stained by the blood of an innocent man. Let it rest on this stone through the ages. Well, it's going to rest in some shop when I sell it.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
So in the part of the books that I'm in, Geralt actually hates
Vampires can
Regis.
evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megoscope would be useless.
And the only reason he hasn't killed him is because Regis helped them. But Regis keeps coming back and helping them. And I'm sure that, obviously, Geralt is going to come
One
around.
of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here. Guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming of...
Didn't we kind of do something like that in the second game?
We might see what Dettlaff
We
was
called it
doing just
necromancy,
before he
and
lost his hand.
Indeed.
and
There were
they
also
really didn't want to do
resonance
it.
Reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Kovinaris spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Just gonna leave that hand there because it's moving. It's twitching, y'all.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Yeah, why not?
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
And Mandrake is,
Remember your mandrake.
when they first met Regis, he was brewing a whole bunch, and they all got drunk
Now,
on it
what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to
before they
himself?
knew he was a vampire.
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detloff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
Yeah, why not?
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
I mean, maybe it's just taking a long time to find it. You know?
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the whites survived, entirely unmolested.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, And they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Remember?
Spoons.
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this
I did
news.
say we would do the spoon thing later.
The spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something.
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the WIGHTS saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Alright, let's go to Spoontown. Which I believe is way that... Yeah, it's back up here. So we went through here, and we went to this, and got some spoons from this guarded treasure. But now we're going to actually go in there. I don't remember it being too difficult or long. But I guess we're going to find out. Read the bestiary to learn more about spotted whites. We'll do that as soon as I get up on Roach. Glossary. It would be a necrophage, I believe. Yeah. Best defense against spotted whites, stay calm and leave them alone. Spotted whites were a subspecies of white which the Witchers drove to extinction. They were larger than their unspotted kin, and owe their names to the numerous blotches and effusions. Spotted whites would most often dwell in derelict cemeteries and empty wildernesses, yet at times took a living in abandoned human domiciles. There they would indulge in their greatest passion, creating brews from their own emissions. That's fucking weird. When not disturbed, spotted whites would not act aggressively. If threatened, however, they became very dangerous indeed. In the colder months, or when faced with an unseasonable chill, they would slip into the state of lethargy, making them easy targets. Even during their active periods, it is said the Witchers found a surefire way of besting them, based around careful casting of the Erden sign, or at least so claims Witcher lore.
Go.
Alright, so Erden might be the star of this fight. There's more to it than just going and fighting it, though. Sorry, buddy. Oh, he didn't care. I seem to remember something about this too that I ended up having to look up the first time I did it. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, I remember these fucking foglets. Damn foglet. Alright. Roach, you just hang out. Just in case there's more foglets. Oh, Vargas. Alright. We're gonna rest, and then I guess I need to repair my shit. It was a weapon, right? It's probably good for now. I mean, if it happens again, I'll just repair it again. Oh boy.
That silver.
And we got spoons, ladies and gentlemen. We got spoons. And some poison swamp-ish looking thing there.
Regis' raven wasn't lying. Spoons.
Alright, boys. I have a feeling that Igni probably wouldn't actually help here. Alright. Anyway, oh, that is not a path. I was just trying to look down into the little swampy area.
Strange. Get a sense that the spoons are beating out some kind of rhythm. A message. Trying to tell me something.
Now, I happen to know that the way into the lair, I think, is like on a little cliffside around the back. But we're going to go ahead and follow. At least I remember that. I could be wrong about that.
None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall say to you, never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror. Sounds like a curse, all right. Somebody's clearly obsessed. Regis mentioned the place might be cursed. Can't be a coincidence. Need to look around. What a pigsty. Need to search it thoroughly. Find a way to collect some white saliva. No spoon you have shall say to you. Whatever lives here treated that literally. Still searching for the right spoon. White's obsessed. A real collector. Thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred spoons.
A spoon key. Sophisticated crafting. Tag bears a description. White's a true collector.
This certifies the item up for auction. An antique spoon key forged at the Christopherson & Sons workshop in 1210. Belongs to Smigol Circus. Ha! Okay. Owner of the pheasantry. Andy Serkis played Smeagol in the Lord of the Rings movies. I see what they did there.
Skeletons. Doubt they came here willingly. This have anything to do with the curse? None shall sit and dine with you at your table. It'd make sense.
Maybe everybody that sits down to dine with them dies.
No claw or fang marks. Probably choked to death. None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No
Yeah,
spoon
we
you
know.
have shall
We know
say
all
to
about
you,
that.
never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror. Woman's name scratched into this wooden spoon. Romantic.
Just gonna take all the spoons. Just in case. Dear Master Lavassieur, I know you track outlaws for pay. I have an unusual assignment for you. No doubt you wonder why I have drawn you out here, and why we cannot meet you in person. You see, in my present situation, any kind of meeting is very risky. Not so much for me, as for the person whom I meet, for I am afflicted by a curse, or, as I hope, and why I have turned to you, the side effects of medicine given to me some time ago by an herbalist. Should have been an herbalist. Soon after I visited this herbalist, she disappeared without a trace. I desperately wished to understand my illness, so I wish to hire you to find her. When you do, learn as much from her as you can about the medicine she gave me. If my suffering is a result of her wickedness, then make her provide an antidote. I assure you I have ample wealth and will reward you with no small part of it for your services. If it turns out my suffering is not the fault of the herbalist, please let her go. I will then have to have a different task for you, because this shall mean I am afflicted by a terrible curse, which only the gods can cure. I believe it was cast upon me by a certain beggar who came by the manor while I was hosting a soiree for a few friends. If you can find that vagrant, I will pay you double. Sadly, all I remember of him is that he sold mirrors. Imagine that. I am aware that this is not much aid for your hunt, yet I trust in your considerable talents and wish you the best of luck. Remember, the previous is Gunter Odim, the previous expansion. Apparently he did something to this person too. That goes downstairs. We're not ready for that yet. I want to be systematic in searching. Get everything upstairs first. For a few days now I've been having dizzy spells. I've never experienced anything like this before. If it carries on, although I can't stay on witchcraft and sorcery, I'll have to visit an herbalist. The dizziness has not gone away. Worst of all, it's been joined by pain so strong that at times I cannot see. I've been to the herbalist, a repulsive old crone who looked at me like she had seen a monster. She gave me some cursed mixture that I have to drink twice a day. It's not helping at all. Today, like every day, I looked in the mirror and I was lost for words. I usually check that I don't have any wrinkles or bags under my eyes, but today there are no wrinkles, but I'd rather that there were. I have hair growing on my breasts. It's horrible. It's gotta be because of those damned herbs. I went to the herbalist to smash her face in, but her chambers were empty. She must have known what would happen to me and legged it. My family is starting to suspect something, although I am cutting the hair back, which is growing faster and faster. I tried to put the idea out of my head, but I can't hold it back any longer. Maybe it wasn't the herbs that have led to this, but a curse placed upon me by an old beggar whom I had to chase off one time. I have to find out. I want to hire someone who can find the herbalist. Cannot think, and it is getting hard to write. Loneliness, no family. Eat, I want to eat. Not a good spoon, empty spoons, nothing. Eat, it hurts. Mirror lies, no ah.
Poor girl.
Cool.
Realized she was changing into a monster. Recorded it in her diary. Poignant. Spoon's incredible. The craftsmanship must have graced a rich man's table.
I mean, it's just a spoon. So many spoons.
Smashed mirror. As if someone couldn't stand to look at themselves.
Yeah,
The
well,
monster.
that was part of the curse.
Author, maybe.
Alright, let's go downstairs.
Actually does seem like a WIGHTS lair.
Hmm.
Bit atypical, but still. Cauldron should be somewhere around here.
Well, I would assume it's down further.
Cauldron I was
Or
looking
it's right
for.
there.
WIGHTS not particularly tidy. Table's set. White who lives here is getting ready for some sort of feast. White that lives here, definitely afflicted by a curse, and it's been trying desperately to lift it. Cauldron's empty, unfortunately. We just need some brew. Afraid he won't get that. No choice but to hide and wait for the saliva glands and their bearer. Need a spot that'll let me observe the cauldron.
Hmm. Oh. There we go. I mean, this must have happened centuries ago if they thought they had hunted him to extinction a century ago. Or a century before Geralt was born. I think he's like 80-something. So this white's been around for a while. Do you think you're going to draw your sword? Well, we're going to try and lift the damn curse. That's what we do. That's what I call aggressive cooking.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Wanna help? I've seen the words of the curse on the walls. Think I know how to lift it. You tried to bring folk here, convince them to sit at the table with you, right? Well, I'm gonna be your guest now. Your willing guest.
I mean, as long as you don't choke to death like everybody else.
Just need a bit for Regis. And now we'll tend to you. Need to get this right. Words of the curse were, none shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall sate you. Never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror.
Okay. No spoon you have shall sate you. So we're going to eat without spoons.
We can't use spoons. No, that won't work. You've been looking for a spoon that would feed you, but there's no such spoon. We need to eat without spoons.
This white's awesome.
Open your eyes. You need to see your likeness.
Oh yeah, look at that. Mirror bowl.
Think it worked. Just not quite like I expected. Need to see what happened to the white.
Yeah, we're gonna
Hard
follow
to
the
find
stench.
given its stench.
I mean, it's an optional, so we're doing the optional. I'm assuming it's right there. Oh, that could be anything. Noted by the fact that it is a bar guest. I was sure that that last hit was going to kill it. Maybe if you didn't sick all your goddamn bar guests on me.
Shh, easy. Not gonna hurt you.
Eat. I must eat.
take you someplace safe.
Will I? 'Cause where? Unless we're taking her back to... Yeah, Corvo Bianco. That's what I thought. Okay.
So I took her by the hand and led her here. Seemed the only sensible place for her.
You did the right thing, sir. She should recover quickly here. Don't worry, sir. I shall see to everything. She is safe here and in good hands. She'll soon be back on her feet.
Might actually take a while. She hadn't eaten anything in over 100 years when I found her.
Horrid. Whatever brought this about?
Told me her story on the way here. Her name's Marlena. She was once the very beautiful and proud heiress to the TRASTAMARA estate. One evening, when she was holding a banquet for friends, a beggar came to her gate seeking alms. He had a bowl and a spoon with him. He sat outside her fence and waited.
I've heard of the custom. An ancient rite of hospitality that obliges one to give food and drink to such a guest lest he depart hungry. To neglect the custom is to bring great misfortune down upon oneself.
Marlena didn't care a whit for the old customs. She drove the man off, saying she'd rather feed the leftovers from her feast to her dogs.
Well, it sounds like she was a bitch.
The beggar then broke his spoon, cast a curse. She was beautiful, so he said she'd never wish to look at herself in the mirror again. Since she adored feasts, he swore no one would ever wish to sit and dine with her. And as she even refused him the crumbs from her table, he swore she'd never find a spoon in the world that would sate her hunger.
A harsh punishment. I imagine lifting the curse was hardly simple.
It was simple.
Curses are tricky. They play on irony. Always gotta figure out what the catch is. Marlena had spent decades looking for a way to lift it. Transformed into a wight, she stole spoons and lured folk into her home, trying each time to get them to dine with her. Didn't work.
So what did?
Someone had to sit down and share a meal with her, of their own free will. They had to eat without using spoons, and make her look at her reflection.
That's it? That was all it required?
Simplest solutions are sometimes the last that come to mind. Besides, when you're a wight, it's pretty damn hard to find willing human company for a feast.
I imagine so. But, most importantly, it is now over. Please, don't worry. She will be in good hands here.
Alright. Well, I don't have a whole lot of money, so we're not doing any renovating.
Gotta get back to my business now. See you soon.
Is Geralt still like... No, okay. It looked like he was still all veiny.
Me oh my! A witch fella!
A witch fella. Alright, where's some fast travel? It is straight down to the bottom. Sorry, lady. Well, at least I got a fast travel for that. Oh, you know what? I didn't search the cellar in that spoon house. Because I assumed that the end of the quest would take me down there, and it did not. This is probably just random shit anyway.
Think your friend's hand will make for a nice broth?
You've clearly honed your sense of humor. But we are not cannibals, Geralt. I took a fragment of tissue from the hand. It will suffice to prepare some resonance.
What did you do with the rest?
I cremated it, as our codex commands. A raven told me you'd acquired the necessary ingredient.
Pretty helpful creatures. Calling them often?
I try not to overdo it, but they can be so useful, as they were now, when I merely needed to be sure I could arrive in time should things go sour.
Managed fine alone, but thanks for the thought. Gonna need much longer to finish brewing resonance? Mentioned a last ingredient, too. What about that?
That, I fear, might prove troublesome. You see, to use the concoction to summon the memories of one, The solution must contain the blood of another specimen of the same species.
Shouldn't be a problem. I happen to know a higher vampire who should be willing to help. Right, Regis?
It's not that simple, I'm afraid. While you were away, I tried my damnedest to identify...
Or can you just use yours?
But, alas, none such exists.
Not sure I understand what the problem is. Can't we just draw some of your blood?
The blood must be in an agitated state. As I'm certain you know, higher vampires can change their corporeal shell. As our flesh changes, so does our blood's chemical composition. To make a long story short, I shall need to induce in myself a state of strong psychokinetic arousal. In brief, madness, rabidity. And that stands to be very, very dangerous.
Dangerous? Why? I mean, you'll still be you, right?
True, but I should be highly agitated, in a state of fury. You know better than I that fury cannot be controlled. If you've ever seen an enraged vampire, you know very well that all who find themselves nearby will be in grave danger.
How will we handle that? I'd rather not have you lunge at me, claws extended.
That makes two of us. But worry not. I've thought it through very thoroughly. Details to follow soon.
All right, so what do you want to do?
We shall visit Teshem Mutna, an ancient vampire estate. There we will find cages suspended in the air. I will enter one, be confined. You will lure beasts there. Beasts you will then kill. The bloodletting should prove profuse. Abundant enough so that the blood scent will drive me mad. Wild.
Teshem Mutna. What's it like?
It is a place of torment. A torture chamber. Long ago, shortly after we'd arrived in this world, one among us named Kagmar developed such a taste and lust for human blood that in one night he could imbibe an entire village. This brought trouble on the entire species. Common folk wearied quickly of living in constant fear. They began to hunt us, seek the aid of mages and witches in tracking us down.
So what? Not like they could ever hope to kill you.
But they were bothersome. Forgive the comparison, but when did you last enjoy mosquitoes buzzing around your head? In any case, the other vampires decided something had to be done. Kagmar had to be caught and punished. A torture chamber was thus outfitted in the dungeons of Teshem Mutna. Inside it, a cage made entirely of a special alloy of silver, dalvinite, and meteorite steel. Kagmar was captured and locked in the cage. Sat there over 2 centuries, driven to fury time after time, never able to escape. Thus I know the cage will withstand the fury to which we shall drive my humble being.
Alright, let's do it.
See no
Why not?
reason to dawdle. Teshem Mutna. Take me there.
In a moment. Just one last thing.
What was that?
Blood. Oh, the last favor the Raven did me. I've also taken some Sangurium, a solution that sharpens one's sense of smell. One drop of blood shall smell like a gallon to me now.
You crazy? You're a recovering addict.
Your outrage warms my heart, Geralt, but you must remain calm. I have no choice. As things stand, the die is cast. High time we set off for Teshem Mutna. My head's spinning already, and you're starting to smell quite tasty.
Alright, dude, calm down.
You're starting to scare me.
We have arrived. The sacrificial chamber of torture and torment lies underground.
Sure you know what you're doing?
I can only hope I do. Please, let's go. The longer we delay, the less control I shall have of my faculties. I'd really prefer not to hurt you.
Good try.
You lead. Scurvers must be getting close to their feeding ground.
Correct. I told you there'd be danger.
The fuck is a scurver?
Beyond this wall lies...
An ancient vampire dungeon. Seen a lot of things in my time. Nothing quite like this, though.
I feel honored. A man with such a wealth of experience, yet I'm about to show him something new. Now, to open it.
How the hell?
It's an ancient form of protection against unwanted guests.
I'll take
The
that.
mechanism which releases the latch reacts only to a higher vampire's blood.
Tricky mechanisms, a vampire hideout. Fortified, secured. Must have been important to your species once, Toussaint.
It shall always be so. During the conjunction, the gate from our world into this one opened upon this land and no other. This was the paradise we saw.
Okay, I was like, he was sitting on one too, wasn't he? Champion of Teshumutna. I am he who serves the tribe. Exalted above men, I renounce human weakness. Uplifted above men, I become keeper of my flock. Filled with strength, I turn my sword against the enemies of the tribe. I am master and slave. I am executor of the will of the tribe. I accept this sword and this armor so I may serve the tribe. Alright.
This place. There's evil here. Death hangs in the air.
Yes. A great many beings have breathed their last here.
Probably falling off this rickety-ass, non-OSHA compliant fucking staircase. At the very least, it needs a fixed and working rail. Just throwing that out there, Regis. Well, I mean, we have a full Teshumutna set of gear now, looks like.
Glyphs are carved into the rock. Coated with blood used to be. They mean something?
They're emblems, symbols of...
Can't actually look at them.
what you would call tribes, dispersed throughout the world after the conjunction. My ancestors placed them here to remind us all where we came from.
Whose is this glyph?
I'm waiting until they're done
They
talking.
ventured beyond the sea.
Transcript of conversation between Master Ezehiel Hildegard and a human being. Who are you? My name is Alex Biscon. Why is all your skin trembling? I'm scared, sir. You're scared? I don't understand. You don't know what fear is, sir? No, I have mastered your language, yet some concepts are beyond me. What is fear? It's a feeling that destroys every other feeling. It controls your head and your heart. What do you mean? I thought it was a kind of pain. I've carried out tests in my laboratory on people, and I discovered that a mother subject to appropriate stimuli is able to forget about her child and think only about how to avoid pain. So fear would be similar to pain. Now, pain rules the body, but fear is born in the heart. Oh yes, what you say is very interesting. I think I'll have to examine your heart in the laboratory. What do you mean examine? I mean examine. Take it out and subject to proper examination. Sir, that would kill me. Yes, your mortality is of great inconvenience. But it was not me who created your species, and I'm not responsible for its excessive frailty. The conversation was carried out in a human language, and such it was written down. Transcription does not need translating. That's a hand. That is 100% a hand. Oh.
And this one?
Okay.
Which tribe's this?
Garisham.
Well, that's a hand too.
My tribe
With a
and
snake.
Deathlaf's. We both remained in this part of the world.
What's this symbol mean?
It's the symbol of the Tedet. Those who went east beyond the Blue Mountains.
I wasn't aware that I could look at all the symbols.
Whose is this?
Because examine wasn't coming up. Some of
They
them.
ventured beyond the sea.
Oh, yeah, we already looked at that one.
this symbol mean?
It's the symbol
Oh,
of
it's
the
Tadet. Okay.
those who went east.
It's Amaran.
Mountains.
Okay, there's only 3 different ones, it looks like. Amaran, Tadet, and Gresham, he said? I don't know. Yep, I guess that's it.